The shocking truth stands before you now, undeniable and raw. For too long, dark forces have circled your existence, stealing what was destined to be yours from the beginning of time. Those closed doors, those betrayals, those financial struggles, none of it was random. Every setback was calculated to prevent you from discovering the massive inheritance that rightfully belongs to you. Every obstacle placed before you was designed to keep you from the kingdoms that bear your spiritual signature. Every relationship, disruption engineered to distract you from following the trail of your stolen legacy, but you solved it all on your own. Your oppressors believed their schemes would remain forever hidden in shadow. They signed your name on documents while laughing behind closed doors. They occupied spaces meant for your expansion while celebrating your perceived ignorance. They celebrated while creating chaos in your life, all to distract you from discovering the truth. Their arrogance blinded them to one critical reality. You possess supernatural detective abilities they could never comprehend. Their limited perception could not grasp the spiritual investigation skills embedded in your divine DNA. Their short-sighted vision failed to recognize the cosmic investigator walking among them in human form. The Almighty has watched over every moment of this ordeal, bearing witness to your spiritual investigation unfolding with divine precision. While they thought you were breaking, you were developing spiritual X-ray vision that penetrates the densest deceptions. While they believed you were lost, your divine GPS was activating to pinpoint exactly where your stolen blessings were hidden. While they assumed you were blind to their schemes, your third eye was opening to truths they desperately tried to conceal. Your spiritual senses were upgrading precisely when they thought you were at your weakest. Your detective instincts were sharpening exactly when they believed you were most disoriented by their distractions. Do you understand what's happening right now? This isn't merely about property or money, though that's definitely coming back to you in abundance. This is about you solving the greatest heist ever attempted against your destiny. Through your own spiritual intelligence, you've unraveled conspiracies that would have remained buried if anyone else had been targeted. Your unique spiritual fingerprint contains investigative abilities programmed specifically to decode this particular mystery. The cosmic architects designed your detective skills for this exact situation. Universal intelligence encoded your DNA, with specific investigation protocols activated only by this precise frequency of injustice. Those who pretended to be you, wearing your identity while looting your birthright, never understood who they were dealing with. They saw your human form, but missed the spiritual detective with cosmic investigation skills coursing through your veins. They failed to recognize the ancient wisdom coded into your DNA that allows you to solve mysteries others can't even perceive. They underestimated the forensic spiritual abilities that enable you to detect energetic fingerprints left at scenes of cosmic crime. Their limited awareness could not comprehend the multidimensional investigation you were conducting right under their noses. They never realized every fraudulent signature left quantum markers only your specialized vision could detect. Watch now as their house of deception collapses under the weight of your discoveries. That moment when pieces started coming together for you, that wasn't coincidence or lucky guessing. That was your supernatural investigation skills activating precisely when programmed to awaken. Your ability to sense something wrong despite their elaborate cover-ups? That's your divine detective system operating beyond physical limitations. Those dreams revealing hidden information. Your spiritual surveillance program running even while your conscious mind rested. Every hunch, every intuitive nudge, every coincidental discovery, all part of your sophisticated spiritual investigation methodology. Every random encounter that provided a missing piece, cosmic intelligence supporting your detective work. The Universal Tribunal has been monitoring your case from the beginning. They've watched as you've methodically gathered evidence that others couldn't see, evidence that exists on multiple planes of reality simultaneously. This tribunal, composed of enlightened beings who maintain cosmic order, stands ready to enforce the divine judgment that your spiritual detective work has made possible. Their cosmic gavel is poised to strike, sending reverberations through every dimension where injustice attempted to take root. You've activated ancestral memory codes that give you access to investigation techniques perfected across countless generations of your spiritual lineage. Your forebears, advanced souls who mastered similar cosmic cases, now work through you, lending their expertise to your investigation. Their collective wisdom floods your consciousness when you need it most, providing breakthroughs that seem to materialize from nowhere but actually come from everywhere. The perpetrators never realized they were leaving energetic evidence at every turn, karmic fingerprints visible only to someone with your unique spiritual sight. Each deceptive action created ripples in the quantum field that you could detect and trace back to its source. Your ability to perceive these subtle disturbances in the universal fabric represents spiritual forensics at its most advanced level. The synchronicities appearing in your life aren't random, they're cosmic confirmations of your investigation's progress. Each meaningful coincidence serves as a breadcrumb laid by universal intelligence, guiding you toward the next revelation. These divine signposts appear precisely when needed, validating your path and illuminating the next step in your spiritual detective journey. Your restoration isn't just personal, it's paradigm-shifting. By solving this cosmic crime, you're establishing a new precedent in the universal record. Future generations of spiritual detectives will study your methods, your persistence, and your ultimate triumph over forces that thought themselves beyond accountability. Your case will become legendary in the annals of cosmic justice. Your inheritance wasn't just stolen. It was hidden across dimensional barriers and secured behind frequency locks they believed impenetrable. Keys to your kingdom were concealed in vibrational vaults, while imposters walked through corridors meant for your feet. Your wealth was disguised with energetic camouflage, while thieves spent what was amassed for your divine purpose. But they never calculated one critical variable. You can see through dimensions. Your spiritual vision penetrates veils that stop ordinary perception. Your intuitive tracking follows trails invisible to the naked eye. Your detective senses decode frequency patterns specifically designed to hide your prosperity. Your spiritual forensic abilities extract evidence from etheric signatures most would never detect. The almighty hand now moves in response to your detective work, not as the initiator, but as the enforcer of the case you built through spiritual investigation. Because you solved this mystery through your own supernatural detective skills, cosmic forces deploy to your assistance as backup arrives after the primary investigator cracks the case. Spiritual evidence you gathered across multiple planes now manifests in physical reality as interdimensional exhibits materialize into tangible proof. The case you built against your oppressors now processes through both earthly and heavenly courts simultaneously, with your detective work as the primary testimony that cannot be disputed or dismissed. Universal justice systems activate enforcement, protocols based specifically on your findings and conclusions. Your dreams haven't been random sleep experiences. They've been your subconscious continuing the investigation while your conscious mind rested and recharged for the next phase of spiritual detective work. Those visions of spacious homes with your name on the mailbox, your spiritual detective skills showing you evidence of property in your name that exists in current time, despite attempts to erase records of your ownership. Those keys appearing in dream sequences. Spiritual evidence. Your detective abilities uncovered while your physical body slept. Actual keys to actual locks that secure actual spaces belonging to you. Your nighttime visions have been gathering evidence admissible in cosmic courts. Your dream sequences revealed hidden camera footage from the spiritual realm, documenting every theft from your inheritance. For those who orchestrated your dispossession, your investigation brings swift consequences that no amount of running can evade. Documents they falsified now reveal their tampering because you followed spiritual breadcrumbs to their hidden locations, in both physical filing cabinets and etheric record halls. Signatures they forged now expose their fraud because you trusted your intuition about where to look and which experts to consult across multiple dimensions of reality. Witnesses they paid now confess the full extent of the conspiracy because your energy field compels truth when you enter a room, creating a spiritual deposition environment no false testimony can withstand. Accounts they thought untraceable now leave glowing trails directly to their doorsteps because your detective work illuminated every transaction across all financial dimensions. You've walked through fire and emerged as a master spiritual detective with skills refined by the very adversity designed to break you. Every clue you followed, despite discouragement from those who couldn't see what you perceived. Every hunch you pursued against advice to let it go. Every piece of evidence you spiritually discerned when no physical proof yet existed has been logged in the cosmic record as testimony to your investigative brilliance. Your spiritual investigation skills have assembled a case so airtight that not even the craftiest cosmic criminals can escape its conclusions or appeal its verdicts in any court across the multiverse. Your detective methodology established new precedents in the universal justice system that will guide investigations for spiritual generations to come. Understand this clearly. What appears as simply getting back property and money represents your victory in spiritual warfare, fought on battlefields most humans never perceive. The real estate deeds, the bank accounts, the insurance policies, the investment portfolios. These are merely physical manifestations of spiritual birthright that enemies tried to hijack through interdimensional identity theft. You tracked them down across dimensions that don't even have names in human language and reclaimed what's yours through supernatural investigation abilities that operate beyond space-time constraints. Your detective work crossed barriers most never even perceive. Your spiritual search warrant authorized access to records normally sealed from human awareness. They say the truth will set you free, but most can't handle it. For the chosen ones in the obsidian inner order, it's not just the truth, it's the whole cosmic download, no sugarcoating, no escape. Picture this: weekly group calls with 450 plus chosen ones, recorded and available any time for your enlightenment. Our private Discord, it's not just active, it's alive, buzzing with ideas, breakthroughs, and that unstoppable chosen energy. Oh, and for you romantics out there, welcome to Chosen Singles, where soulmates meet under cosmic alignments, not cheap pickup lines. And for the seekers, dive into Modern Manifestation Mechanics, our exclusive grimoire with 3 chapters available to members. Learn how to turn your home into an abundance magnet, master basic spellcraft for physical manifestation, and channel magical forces to elevate your goals. Plus, you'll get access to interviews with real targeted individuals and video specials so bold the YouTube archons don't even want you to see them. This is more than a membership, it's a movement. So what are you waiting for? Stop searching, start ascending. The link is in the description. The keys returning to your possession unlock more than physical doors to physical structures in physical neighborhoods. They represent your detective genius, breaking codes your enemies thought impenetrable, solving ciphers they believed would confuse you for lifetimes. The land being restored exists not just in geographic coordinates with surveyed boundaries, but stands as monument to your investigative triumph, territory reclaimed through spiritual warfare, where your detective abilities outmaneuvered opponents who never anticipated your strategic brilliance. The financial resources flowing back symbolize the spiritual wealth your detective abilities reclaimed from cosmic thieves who thought they'd hidden your abundance in vaults you'd never locate. Every asset returning to you carries energetic tags, identifying it as recovered through your supernatural detective operations. Those who tried to steal your position believed they could simply step into your identity and assume your spiritual authority without detection. Fools. They failed to understand they were leaving spiritual fingerprints only you could detect with your unique forensic frequencies. Every fraudulent signature carrying energetic discrepancies, every forged document vibrating at inauthentic frequencies, every manipulated witness surrounded by the distinctive aura of coercion, all left energetic evidence, your spiritual detective. Skills were uniquely qualified to discover, catalogue, and present before cosmic tribunals. Their crimes left traces visible only to your specialized detective vision. Their attempts to cover tracks actually created brighter markers for your supernatural investigation abilities to follow. Now hear this. As your investigation concludes its primary phase and enters full recovery operations, you must remain centered in your power without flinching from the magnitude of what you've uncovered. The flood of evidence you've assembled might overwhelm normal human capacity for processing cosmic crime patterns. When those you've caught in your spiritual investigation come crawling back with hollow apologies and transparent attempts to negotiate reduced consequences, your discernment must remain supernaturally sharp to perceive manipulation disguised as remorse. Stand firm in the authority your detective work has established across multiple planes of existence. Your case has been proven beyond any spiritual doubt. Now comes the full implementation of universal justice based on your findings. The timeline for recovering your stolen inheritance accelerates because you solved the case when all odds were stacked against your investigation. Your detective work connected dots across multiple dimensions, building pressure in the universal justice system that physical reality cannot withstand or further delay. The cosmic machinery you set in motion through your meticulous spiritual investigation now works with thunderous power to return everything stolen from your divine inheritance, plus accumulated interest calculated at divine rates that factor in both tangible and intangible damages. The universal banking system now processes transfers of everything your detective work identified as stolen. Cosmic transportation systems activate to relocate physical assets back to their rightful owner, you. Watch as those who mocked your spiritual gifts and dismissed your intuitive knowing suddenly face exposure through evidence you uncovered when they thought all traces were eliminated. Observe as those who called you mentally unstable for pursuing imaginary conspiracies now exhibit panic behaviors, as the case you built reveals their crimes in undeniable detail. Notice how those who kept you financially trapped in cycles of lack now face economic collapse as your detective work triggers universal justice protocols programmed to balance all equations with perfect precision. The cosmic scales tip dramatically as your evidence forces recognition across multiple dimensions. The very individuals who labeled you crazy now struggle to explain the unexplainable as your detective work manifests in physical reality before witnesses. Your spirit guides, those luminous beings assigned to assist your investigation without solving it for you, have worked alongside your efforts with profound admiration for your detective skills. They've preserved evidence others tried to destroy. Through quantum interventions, maintained energetic crime scenes, others attempted to scrub clean with frequency disruptors, and guided your intuition toward crucial discoveries without overriding your free will. You solved this case as lead investigator, but with a team of spiritual intelligence specialists supporting your detective work from dimensions beyond human perception. Their astonishment at your investigative persistence has become legendary. In realms you'll soon access consciously, the Celestial Archives now include detailed accounts of your detective methodology as training material for future spiritual investigators. The Creator does not take lightly the theft of destiny from chosen ones, specially equipped with mission-critical spiritual detective abilities. When your investigative skills began uncovering this cosmic crime, despite massive interference, universal support rallied to your investigation like backup arriving after the primary detective identifies the perpetrators. Your restoration isn't merely personal justice, it's the successful conclusion of the most important case your soul has ever solved, with implications extending throughout the spiritual realms. The precedents established by your detective methodology will guide future cosmic investigations. Your case file now serves as the definitive reference for spiritual detectives tracking inheritance theft across dimensions. Feel the shift in energy around you. That's reality bending to accommodate the massive case. You just broke wide open through persistent investigation when others abandoned the search. Notice increased synchronicities and coincidences in your vicinity. That's evidence you uncovered manifesting in physical form as interdimensional exhibits materialize into your detection range, experiencing sudden revelations and memory flashes about aspects of the conspiracy previously hidden from your awareness. Those are case files. Your spiritual detective skills are bringing into conscious awareness now that the primary investigation has established key facts beyond dispute. Your evidence now integrates across all dimensions simultaneously. The universal mainframe downloads complete data packets of your investigation into physical reality with increasing frequency and intensity. Your oppressors sense their impending exposure, though they lack spiritual understanding to articulate their growing dread in conscious thoughts. They feel walls closing in, but don't recognize it's your investigation reaching conclusion after years of meticulous evidence gathering. They sense watching eyes, but don't realize it's your spiritual surveillance, gathering final evidence before full disclosure becomes inevitable. They experience increasing pressure from seemingly random directions, never recognizing the coordinated, cosmic investigation you've been conducting has finally created enough momentum to manifest in their physical experience as undeniable consequence. Their time of hiding has ended because your detective work exposed every shadow. Their attempts to escape universal jurisdiction fail as your case establishes their liability across all dimensional borders. The divine timing of your breakthrough comes because you solve this at exactly the right moment when all cosmic factors align to maximize recovery potential. Had you cracked this case earlier, you might have lacked the spiritual jurisprudence to handle its implications across multiple dimensions of consequence. Had your investigation continued longer without reaching critical conclusion points, crucial evidence might have dispersed beyond retrieval through entropy acceleration programs initiated by your opponents. Your detective timing proves supernaturally precise, the perfect convergence of your investigative readiness, your oppressors' vulnerability cycles, and universal alignments favoring comprehensive justice implementation. The cosmic calendar marked this specific time frame for the conclusion of your investigation and the beginning of total restoration. The time is now. Your investigation concludes triumphantly after overcoming obstacles specifically designed to defeat your methodology. Your evidence presents irrefutably despite attempts to discredit your detective credentials. Your case resolves definitively against efforts to force compromised settlements. Your recovery initiates immediately where delays were programmed to prevent resolution. Your relocation approaches rapidly when barriers were constructed to prevent your return. Your vindication arrives completely where partial acknowledgement was offered as distraction. Your inheritance returns fully after systematic reduction attempted to minimize your recovery. Your detective genius receives universal acknowledgement throughout spiritual realms after deliberate campaigns to question your investigative abilities across multiple dimensions. You have solved the mystery of your own disinheritance through supernatural detective abilities beyond ordinary human capacity that activated specifically for this case. You have maintained investigative integrity through prolonged obstruction of your process by forces specifically organized to corrupt your methodology. You have developed necessary detective methodologies through challenging case conditions deliberately created to prevent standard investigation techniques. You have demonstrated investigative brilliance through persistent pursuit of evidence despite overwhelming opposition coordinated to eliminate all traceable connections. You have qualified for complete case resolution through unwavering commitment to truth when compromise offered easier but incomplete closure. Receive now what your detective work has reclaimed from those who believed their theft perfect and their concealment impenetrable. Step into possession with confidence befitting a master spiritual investigator who solved their own case when conventional authorities declared it permanently cold. Assume authority with clarity regarding your investigative triumph over systematic opposition, specifically designed to prevent your success. Catalog recovered resources with precision, reflecting your detective thoroughness that accounts for every Stolen asset down to the smallest detail. Occupy territory with strategic understanding of its significance to your solved case and future operations launching from this reclaimed base. You solved this all on your own, chosen one. Your stolen house returns to your possession through keys your investigation tracked across multiple transfers. Your inheritance flows back to your stewardship through accounts your detective work uncovered behind elaborate concealment. Your prosperity restores to your experience through resources your investigation reclaimed from unauthorized users. Your position re-establishes in realms your detective skills proved were rightfully yours from the beginning. Your authority reinstates. Through credentials, your investigation validated beyond any remaining question. Your purpose clarifies through mission objectives. Your detective work recovered from hidden archives. Your enemies retreat before evidence your investigation assembled, despite their coordinated interference. The last laugh belongs to you. The E. Detective who solved the greatest inheritance heist in cosmic history when all odds were stacked against your investigation.